Hoes with Feelings.
Hoes with Feelings.
Hoes with Feelings.
Hoes with Feelings. With Carolina Teresa
and Melissa Rich.
Okay, amazing. Yay. I'm so excited to have you here.
So excited to be here.
You are the perfect guest for Hoes with Feelings. This is Meliza. She is a Dominican baddie, a dancer, a fitness instructor, a athletic wear designer.
I was
a mother,
ready to snatch this off your bod.
Azora. Oh. Okay, it's my mom. Speaking of mothers.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with the outfit. Tell us about the fashion line first.
Yeah.
This was basically, I wanted to make something I couldn't find. And I was like, I work out all day, but I want to feel sexy. I want to be able to wear it out, wear it in. Like, it's really, everyone's wearing the Alo and the Lulu, but it's not so much built for my body or like the kind of sex appeal I want to have.
Yes.
So I need compression. I have a lot of cellulite. So I'm like, I need something to cover my cellulite. Not that that's a bad thing, but I want to always feel great in it. And I've always been that person. I think that's why I started my company. If you can do it, I want to find out how you did it and I want to do it better. So it was kind of looking for the manufacturers, waiting on the samples. It's not as hard as people think. You just need a lot of patience, right? And like creativity and the willingness to invest in yourself and just hope people buy it.
Oh my God, we love that. Welcome.
I love that. And I will say one thing, I'm like, even taking your classes, and this is how I met you.
Yeah, I feel like you should start at the top with how you know Melissa.
Yes. So I used to have ClassPass and I found Killer Bodies on ClassPass. And I went to one class and you see me, I kept coming back and coming back and coming back because it's so fun and you are so personable and you're so open and honest in your classes. Like you'll be like, I'm not in a fucking good mood today. And you know what? You know, I got these kids and I'm trying to do this and that and I'm running around and I'm being a fitness instructor and sometimes I'm not in the mood, but we're going to come here today and we're going to work. We're going to shake our ass. We're going to pop it. We're going to drop it. We're going to sweat. And we're going to feel good about ourselves for this hour.
Yes.
Like I feel like in a lot of fitness classes, the teachers always give like an inspirational talk, but yours never felt like disingenuous. You were always just kept it so real with everyone. And even just now when you're like, I got the cellulite, but like, and I want to feel good. So I'm going to make this to make myself feel good. The energy is just impeccable.
Thank you.
Love that.
I think that's what I wanted to feel like because I get very turned off by the person doing the speech, right? Like I don't want it to feel like a speech because then I don't want to hear it. Some days I don't say. Sometimes there'll be classes and everyone's like, and I'm like, I have nothing to say.
Totally.
Not because I'm even in a bad mood, because if I were to say something right now, it would be forced and it would be corny. And then it's kind of even like the pressure of when you say affirmations. Like you just saying that takes away the power from it. You should have truths is what I call it. I'm a fucking badass. That's a truth. That shouldn't be an affirmation. And when I'm doubting myself, I like to go through the shit that we've been through in life, right? Like we all have had shit and you shouldn't compare it to anyone else's, but that you've gotten over. And whenever I'm dealing with something current, I'm like, it's okay. I've done that before. I can do this, you know?
Yeah.
Or the reminder is women, like there's no race. Like, why am I so fucking stressed out? Who am I trying to catch up to? Doesn't have to be
I
that
literally
way.
said that on the way here. Like I was like grabbing all the groceries and everything. Carolina was like, no, I'm running late. And I was like, I'm running late. And then I actually wasn't running that late. And I was like, I'm so stressed out. I have to get the wine and the ice ups. And I was like, why am I stressed out? She's not stressed out. You're not stressed out.
You're like,
No one's stressed out. Why am I stressed out? You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm just constantly, I need to shoulder this load. And sometimes it's like there's not even actually a load. I'm just like kind of making it up and being like, oh my God, like we're 8 minutes late.
Feel like that means we're working, right? Like sometimes it also
I think honestly it is that.
Yeah.
I think that I really am like, maybe that's Virgo stuff, but I'm just like, I'm doing work. Everybody look at my work or like something crazy. Yeah.
Definitely. And it's in all that energy you spend on that could be applied to something else.
Exactly.
You have to check yourself. It's good. Like it's proven cortisol is good. That's what keeps us moving.
I have too much of that.
But you might have too much.
I have too much cortisol. I know for sure. And you know how I know? Because I'm also getting targeted on Instagram about all these cortisol detoxes, cortisol stretching, cortisol somatic stretching releases.
His phone is picking up the energy.
Literally. I'm like spewing cortisol onto the phone. And Mark Zuckerberg is like, we got to get this bitch lowered cortisol. Okay, so what can I do for that?
you would have to. It's
I have to
hard.
exercise, right?
You'll hear a lot
Fuck.
of people saying like you have to regulate your stress, but that's like the
Right.
hardest thing to do because everything is stress. So like you
Right.
want to think about like workout is stress. It's just like one that's considered good.
Right.
Being fast paced, waking up, you need it to function. What you want to think is sometimes you can run yourself down so much that it actually puts your body on like a block mode and you can't progress any further. So you want to just check yourself. And if anything, instead of saying don't be stressed out, think of, okay, what does Melissa do throughout the week to recharge? Right? Because if you're a Virgo and you're setting up your day to be productive and you got to get this done and that done, it's kind of like you're going to have to block it to be like, what am I doing for this hour to recharge my brain, my sanity, my soul?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe everything I don't really, for me, I prioritize movement, but I don't honestly prioritize until my mental health is on the brink every 10 days.
I
It's not until
know,
I'm like,
exactly.
Yeah. And then
I'm
you're
like,
like,
I need some
wait.
time.
What happened? Yeah, totally. And especially because your job is movement.
Yeah, we
Then
all
you have
have
to, like,
things. I'm sure we all
rest.
have things we prioritize and we're really good at that we can teach one another.
Yeah.
When it comes to physicality and timing and running a business, that I no longer struggle with, but I do struggle with like not identifying myself with my company. Because I think everything I
yeah.
do for Killer Bodies is for me.
Of
You know? And it's
course.
like, well, I'm doing what
I am Killer Bodies.
Yeah, I am
yes.
Killer Bodies. It's for me.
So I am
Totally.
working on me,
Yeah.
but actually you're working on the company.
Yes. And I'm the daughter of
Ah.
immigrants and I have a lot to prove because I dropped out of college. Like those are little things that when I self-analyze, I'm like, I'm still carrying that at almost 40.
Isn't it
Where I
crazy?
feel like I have to prove to them. And they're like, we're proud of you. And I'm
Totally.
like, I have to prove to you I'm not a loser. Or that because I
No.
never listened. I never wanted to do the 9 to 5. I never, like, I was an actress that then quit acting and was like, well, let me do this thing. And I think the little baby me, the little like unhealed me is always trying to do the most to validate myself because we all feel insecure or we all feel never enough at certain moments.
Yeah.
But it's truly finding that like now it's like, okay, what are you doing for you? Are you sleeping enough? Because if not, it'll catch up to you. And what
Totally.
happens? We'll get to all the places you want to be at. You'll be selling out every single show and internally you'll be miserable and not understanding why you feel so not there
Yeah.
yet.
Totally.
That's
And
so
for
true.
the little kid, that's like so like whatever therapy I've done, unless even when I've not sought it out, they're always like, well, it says the little girl, like little you inside. And it's like literally imagining that and
But
like
she's
working with
there.
that.
Yeah.
Everybody has that. And it's even like, oh, okay, like I'll take a bath. But it's like, okay, what does your little kid want to do? Maybe like run around or some shit. You know what I mean? Maybe she wants to go to Killer Bodies because she's like, I'm pent up, like you're being boring and on your phone. I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah.
I know. I really want to like, and I'm in a slump. I feel like my entire life I've always been a kind of person who works out. But right
I'm in a
now, I
slump
can't
too.
even tell you the last time I worked out. I was working out in my house. I was doing Pilates. I was going to the track and like walking because I hate running.
Yeah.
And then my husband bought me, well, I asked for it for Christmas. You know, the treadmill, the like skinny one you can put down in
the
front of
walking pad.
Yeah.
I
the
was
walking
nervous, so
pad.
I was like, there's no handle on this. I was
It's
like, she's clumsy.
fine.
She's gonna fall
But I
down.
haven't pulled it out. And I feel like right now I have like a grump inside of me that's just like, you're not exercising, you're not doing anything. And this is just kind of where you're at. Even though literally, while I've never been skinny, I've always been fit. I've always worked out consistently. Pretty much since I was like, I would say like high school, college. So now I'm in this place where like, I'm not working out anymore. I kind of miss it, but I'm also just let myself get in this slump. But also I'm like, the weather being nicer is making me want to work out a little bit more. Like
It's
I'm
waking
going
you
on
up.
walks.
It's like that
It's
seasonal
waking me up.
depression that some
Yes.
people have, or just like vitamin D is so important.
Right.
But I love that you said that because a lot of the reasons people decide to not be a workout head or a workout head is because I'm this person. What you look like has no representation of how healthy you are. It's not always the
I
indicator.
never felt like that
Yeah.
before.
Yeah,
and
you know?
I'm not talking about like my physical. I just mean like I'm just in like
No.
a grumpy slump. Because what I'm saying, despite me always being chubby, I have always worked out.
Yeah.
I played rugby in college and like I love dance classes. I love
But
moving
that's
my
why
body.
you have to identify yourself as like, no, I'm an active person.
I'm
and
a
that's
dancer.
exactly why I'm in this zone. Because the sucky part is you can grow up doing it. And all you got to do is lose it for 2 months.
And
then
it goes.
it's hard to pick up.
Yeah.
Like you say what you're waking up like, oh, when am I going to get in the mood? And it's kind of like the mood is never going to come. And that's the
Yeah.
hardest part, telling people like, you're never going to be in the mood. You kind of just have to
Right.
reset it again. And naturally, the day you go outside for a walk or the day that you do something, you're going to be like, whoa, I feel good.
That happened to me
And
the
you do
other
it
day.
again. And then the little flow comes along. But I love that you're mentioning that because some people have like this vision. It's like, no, you get to identify, you get to choose. Even if you've
Yeah.
never been, even if you were like, I've been a lazy bum my whole life, you get to choose to say, but you know what? From now on, I'm a dancer and I'm going to go to dance class 2 days
Yeah.
2 days a week and do that and like have that freedom to wake up and like, just do something for yourself. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what you're doing. It's just you saying to yourself like, oh, I deserve this time because what else am I doing?
Yeah.
Totally.
And when you do your vacations, one thing we talked about with X, we had my friend X on, and she was talking about community. And I feel like you cultivate community in your classes. Like it's not just you go to the class. It's like everyone is so sweet and so nice. And the energy there is that like we've all just come here to dance and have a good time. But then you take that community, you go on the trips, you really like foster people and like you feature people who are in the classes on your Instagram. Like I love it so much.
I love that you love it.
Inspirational.
Yeah.
I think that too. I'm like, I think I'm so great. No,
You should.
I think
too.
if I do something, to be honest, good is that I do create community environment experience, right? Growing up in New York City, I don't know why I always othered myself. Like I can't say I had experience where people are like, you don't belong here. I can't really say that, but I think I just always led with, I'm the only Dominican here. I'm the only Latina here working at SoulCycle. It was like, well, I'm the only Spanish girl here. And I always felt like I had to ask permission or like I was pushing the other people could do it. Other people can play whatever, Jay-Z all day. And it was like, that's so cool. If I did it, it would be like, oh, they're going to think I'm so aggressive. Right. And so there came a point where I was like, but if I don't feel welcomed and if I don't feel like there are seats or doors or whatever, the tables for me, can I create one? Same thing I said about this. Like, I feel shitty about myself because it feels like I'm not getting picked, right? I was taught to be a good girl. I was taught to do things the right way and that people will recognize your work. But I learned late that it kind of isn't like that. And you have to bang doors and be like, yo, can I be in here? Can I do this show? Like, because you think that doing your time and space is going to grant you that. And then time keeps passing. So for retreats.
I love that you just said that.
Yeah.
You think that doing your time is going to grant you that, but it's not. Like you
Not
got to give it
always.
to
And that's why you
yourself.
become bitter. And that's when you have to catch your bitterness when you see other people rise and you're happy, but you're like, but why not me? Right? Like you have like, when's my turn? I would always feel that way, like secretly. And I didn't wish other people didn't have it. I just felt like, when am I going to get recognized? Like Nike, hi, I'm here. I'm a badass. I'm strong. And then I had to kind of just stop that noise and say, whoa. What can I start doing? I'm helping other people build their dreams. So why not try it for me? Like I was helping other brands build their dream. I was like organizing how to rent the studios, how to hold the things. And then I was like, let me just try it for myself.
Yeah.
But with the retreats, it was kind of like, I'm not a yogi and I don't like stillness and I don't like silence. And it was like, oh, I hate that fitness retreats are either like, or like they just don't exist.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me create this idea in 2019. I was like, it's either going to be the most expensive fucking trip of my life that nobody comes on. And it'll be by myself in DR. But an experience where I'm working out with women. A big thing for me, I had body dysmorphia growing up and eating disorders. And like me being naked in front of other people in bathing suits, I would feel really insecure. And I was like, I want to create an environment where whoever wants to wear a fucking thong can wear it and clap her cheeks on the beach.
Yes.
When I tell you in her classes, she's like, all right, bitches, get sexy. She's like, I said, get sexy. And then and you just see everyone being free. And she's like, walk and touch and walk. And it feels so good because I feel like so many of us don't allow ourselves to feel that way, to walk, to spend time in your day being like, I am going to be sexual. And some people do.
Yeah.
But most people don't. And it does change
It's
you.
like your body chemistry, your vibes, your
does.
feelings, probably how you behave at work, at home,
It gives
everything
confidence.
shifts.
And I wish, and that's something I'm working on now to create workshops, to bring it to the corporate office, how like confidence within your body will actually bring your confidence at work. You know?
Yeah,
And a lot of
totally.
you just said it. You just don't allow yourself that space. I wasn't aware of that because growing up acting and dancing, you're always like, pretend you're a wolf for 5 hours that day. I'm like, okay. Like I was always so odd and out of my body like that. But the locations were that. Like, how can I bring someone, work them out, let them be free, party, engage with different people? Because after a while, you just see their friends or whoever you work with. Like, you're not really meeting anyone that you have any similarities with. It's either your family and you're taught to love them and that's who they are. The friends you already have, whether you grow out of them or in or whatever the case is, and you kind of feel stuck. And how can we travel to places where people usually just don't have friends that want to go with them there? or like they don't align, or you have the friend and they're broke, or like there was just a lot of stuff. And I didn't think it was going to be a big thing. I thought it was going to be a once a year. And now we're having them 4 times a year. They sell out in an hour. I honestly wish I could do more. It's just I have 2 kids and it's like hard to navigate.
Don't put that pressure on yourself. 4 times a year, babe,
really
is
good.
enough.
And you see how my brain is? I'm like, I know, I wish I could do more. I wish I could do more.
I know I'm not doing enough. That's so wild. How amazing.
Yeah, it's exciting. That's what I want to do. I want to practice this year. And I think all of us should. Like, I want to practice just living in, that's amazing. Yeah. And not in the immediate. I sold my last trip to Italy out in 45 minutes. And my first thought in an hour was, all right, where am I going next? Like, I didn't even live in that space of, oh my God, look what we did. It was kind of just like, all right, where are we going next? What do I have to do? What do I have to buy?
I know. It's so hard. I feel like I even like we've been selling out our shows in New York, and we have a show in Miami next week. And
awesome.
that one's not sold out yet. And I'm like,
I know.
But then it's also like, first of all, bitch, you don't even live in Miami, it's going to take longer for, I think it will sell out. I think it'll probably just sell out probably on the day of.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of walk-ups. And I think that's what we have to accept. But it's making me feel some type of way because I got used to.
We got used to it.
Selling the shows out here. And then, but even when we do sell out that show, then we're like, when's the next one up?
Totally.
And we're texting Natalie, our producer. We're like, what are the numbers? What are the numbers? Yeah. And what are the dates for the next month? And it's just like,
people don't see that side. People don't see that side. They're here celebrating the fact that you're selling out. Anyone that's like 2 tiers below, and not because they're below, but just like you're
removed away.
And anyone who wants to do what you guys are doing or watching right now, and they're saying, don't forget that. They're saying, damn, I can't wait to be able to do what they're fucking doing. They get to do a show. They have a podcast.
I know.
They get to just be themselves. Like, I sometimes, because it sounds corny, be like, well, who were you before? But it's like, remember, like, there's steps to this. And this is all like kind of polishing you up for that time, that season where it's going to like sell out. Like
immediately.
Totally.
And then the stress is going to be a different one, right? Like it's polishing you for those moments.
Well, take us from how you started Killer Bodies.
Yeah.
Like how, if somebody's like, I want to start something.
Cause you were at Soul Cycle, and then there was another place that you were at before.
I used to be the head of Vixen Workout that was like started in Miami.
Oh, cool.
Like, oh my God, I shouldn't say names. And it was a bad breakup. You know when you break up from a job and it feels like you broke up from a toxic ex. It was a space where like I did develop it in New York. I'm very proud, and everything happens for a reason. It taught me a lot about myself. I ran it, and I probably wouldn't have Killer Bodies unless I saw myself in that light before. I gave a lot to it. I helped develop it here. And there was just a lot of behind the scenes. I was getting attacked a lot by my looks, for losing weight. It was just a lot for a person like me who suffers a lot, like body dysmorphia and like all this like triggering stuff. I just wasn't happy. And I think when I did fitness, to be honest, it's something as a dancer, as an actress, like you're in the scene, you do it, but I didn't know what I was going to do with it, you know? So I said, fuck it, let me start a boot camp class. Because I'm tired of being this thick girl people think can't work out. But it started from the wrong place. My drive when I started KB was, let me prove to them, right? Like, because this always starts like that. And it's evolved. And I think as I evolve and as I've grown and healed from being this person with a chip on her shoulder, like, I'm going to show you. So I opened up a class. It sold out immediately. The class turned into twice a week to 3 times a week. And every year I opened up a new format. Because I was teaching dance, I didn't want to teach dance right away because I didn't want to feel like I was copying anything. So I just went straight to boot camp.
Cool.
And in this process, the first 2 years, I treated KB like a hobby, like most of us do on our side stuff. And I had to stop myself. So like Soul Cycle reached out to me and they wanted to hire me. And they were like, oh, we've heard such great things. And I was like, I don't ride bikes. And they're like, we can teach you how to ride bikes and we just want you. And I was like, another experience that taught me about a community and what I liked and what I didn't like. And then in 2017, I was pregnant because when I started KB, I was pregnant. I got pregnant like as soon as I announced I wasn't having a class. I was like, fuck, I'm pregnant now. What am I gonna do? Who's gonna watch it?
Oh my God.
Child. And I was like the meanest. I was a woman who didn't know. I used to say I didn't want kids. It was a weird transformation for me. It wasn't like, oh my God, this is the happiest moment of my life.
Yeah.
My pregnancy, I was very open about it. It was a very like, this is the end of my life.
Well, I love to hear that perspective because that is how it does feel to me as well. Like I'm not pregnant, but like if I did have a kid, I'm like, well, that's the end of it.
No, you need to hear that because
you know?
They'll prep you. All the books are about the kid. And you'll hear postpartum. but they don't talk to you about the emotional distress you go through right before.
Yeah.
And how like maybe you're not happy. I wasn't happy. I was like, I don't want to gain weight. Like in my head, I was like, I don't want to gain weight. I don't want to go back here. It was all the wrong things. And obviously now I'm like, oh, I love the way everything turned out. I love my babies, but it took me a long time. So I was like, that's it. I finally left an abusive relationship. I finally got the courage and the balls to leave these jobs. I finally decided it was time for me. And I got pregnant.
Yeah.
I was like, what the
Gotcha, man.
when is it my turn?
Literally.
I love it though. That is so true and so real.
That's how life is though, right? It's like when you
scary.
finally get over the ex and then you get that text, like the day you're healed and they're
Totally.
like, hey, and you're like, what?
God damn it.
It's like
I
the
know.
world is like flagging you to see how strong you are. So I had my first baby. It was a traumatic birth, but I will say this, that maybe it happened because I don't know if I loved myself or believed in myself, or I don't know what it was when I was younger, that I didn't have enough of a drive to go through hard things. Once I had him, I think it became a reason of like, okay, let's keep going. Like that's why I said it's so good to say I've done hard things. You know, like I did this and I didn't
You
think
made it through that. I can make it through.
I can make it
That's
through. You know,
cool.
like I my first year was hard. My second son, I got pregnant by mistake again. And it was like, all right, real talk with myself. I keep working, giving my best hours to the other jobs. And I'm here like struggling just to make minds meet. And my husband at the time as if he's not my husband now. I'm like, my husband at the time.
I love it.
At the time in current. Love that. That's so
My husband
funny.
was like, listen, bet on yourself. I'll hold us down for 5 years. Right? Like in the sense of like,
So cool.
you don't have to really worry. Do what you have to do. Believe in yourself because it's true. You're treating this like it's a hobby and you're pretending. Like a lot of us on social media, I think a lot of people when you have your company, it's a lot of pretending that you feel like you have to, or maybe you don't feel like you have to do. People might assume things of you and that you're not confirming. But so the first couple of years I wasn't making money. I was just loving what I was doing. And I think that showed, right? I wanted to take everything I've seen in fitness and make it better. And I was like, that's BS. They're saying that that's not real. I want my girls to come in. I want, like my assistant coach is a plus size coach, right? And people would be like, why would you hire a plus size coach? Because that's real, right?
It
My
is real, and I've
community.
seen her. She's
Jenny is the shit. She's the girl that people are like, how does she dance like that? Not even dance in terms of strength. How strong is she? That's what we need to see. We've seen the cookie cutter abs and like, it's not about what I'm trying to sell. I just want people to feel seen. And what I've realized in our community, especially being a Latina or shaped the way I am, a lot of people just started giving me attention just because like, I've never seen someone that was thick teach before. And I used to be like, that's so sad. You know?
That is, yeah.
Or like you would get people like, you're so brave. And I used to be like, why am I so brave? Like, because you wear whatever you want, even if that's your body. And I used to be like, oh, thank you.
Okay,
That's
you're so
crazy.
brave.
I
I'm
I
gonna
would
ban
hit
you're
them.
so brave.
If I had
Yeah.
your body and someone
That's the
said
most-
that I was brave,
Yeah.
I would hit them. People say that to me, and fine, I'm a fat girl, you can do that. But for them to say that to you, I would be like, shut the.
It is the shadiest
It sounds
compliment.
ridiculous,
That's
but I'm
so
pretty sure.
shady and
I'm pretty sure
crazy.
in their head,
No, they don't know.
they don't know. I'm pretty sure in their head,
But-
they're like, wow, she has a similar shape to mine, and I would never be able to, right? Because
Then that's a really good way to say it. How about that?
Yeah, say it
I would
like
love
that.
to be wearing what you're wearing.
Say it like that.
I want that outfit. You look great. You know,
But
the brave is really.
it was that. I think I just reminded myself it's mine, what you guys are doing here, and I can do whatever I want with it. And I wanted
Right.
to represent NYC. I wanted to represent my women. I wanted to represent the music. I grew up in Brooklyn where it was a lot of Caribbean world. Like, you know, like we grew up and that's what the class is. So I didn't want to give it Zumba. I didn't want to say hip hop. I didn't want to say it's this because it's not. It's whatever I feel like playing at the time. And at the end of the day, wrapping it up like all these years later, it's reminding you movement is medicine and you have to move. I'm not here preaching. You'll never see me say, hey, let me help you lose 30 pounds in 3 months. That's not my verbiage, right? My goal is to help you get to what you want to do. If that's your goal, I'll help you, but I'm not trying to sell you weight loss. I'm trying to sell you a better form of life. I'm trying to sell you like a lifestyle that you want. Like I want to talk to you and you say, Mel, in my dream me, I do this, this, and that. In my dream me, I'm wearing a red thong and I'm like on the beach, like work. I want you to chase a feeling. And that feeling being someone who has been 40 pounds above, 40 pounds less, is not going to come with a number. As much as we think it is, it's not going to come. It comes with self-acceptance. And that self-acceptance comes from like...
From the kind of classes that you teach,
Yeah.
period.
The energy.
It does. It does.
So
I mean,
fun.
I'm also Latina and I have no shame. I'll wear a thong too.
Yeah.
Because I will say, I feel like in our culture, there's like, it's very two sides of it. It's like, you do have to be perfect. You watch, Univision and the weather girl's like this. And she's got, titties and she's flat. But also, if you go to the beach in one of our countries, the girls are wearing whatever they want to wear.
Unapologetic, yes.
Unapologetically just thongs, whatever, like they're wearing it. So I feel like it is hard growing up in between that.
Yeah.
Because you're like, on the one hand, it's like everybody is very self-accepting. I think even in a kind of like a sensual, we have like more of a sensual nature. But then on the other hand, there's like a lot of like plastic surgery and how many times have I been called gordita? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, it's a hard balance to find. And I feel like you kind of throw those things out of the window. And I love it.
Thank you. It's hard. I feel like my parents were good at letting me be the cute little gordita that always showed. I was very chubby growing up. And I think it never came from a bad way, but being Latina, you just get called what you are, right?
Yeah.
It's just like you get called it and you can pick that up however you want to pick it up. And I picked it up sometimes good. Sometimes it was you own it. But I didn't have restrictions in my personality, how I acted, how I danced. It was never like, don't dance like that. It was just like, that's just who she is. So I always had that permission. And as I got older,
that's really
can
huge.
be really rare. I think my parents also kind of let me be
You can tell
a
my
little bit of
personality.
a little freak, and like they were just like, well, there she goes. Especially my mom. My mom was just like, that's Carolina.
Yeah.
Which is a really beautiful gift to give your child.
I think so, because that's why you have this personality.
Yeah.
That's
I
why
think
you were
so, too.
you're so comfortable in speaking. Because you'd be surprised what I've noticed now with women, it's that a lot of them don't know who they are because they were following the rule book. It's like, okay, well, I graduated. Now I have to find a man. Now I have to get married. Now I have to get the job. And now I got the job for 4 years. I got the promotion. They don't even know how programmed they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when you ask them in class, feel sexy or feel comfortable, they're just like, if I don't have my title, think about how I have friends. I don't know what they do for a living still. I'm like, I don't know. She works
I
at some
actually
fancy
never
office.
know either. Yeah. If anyone I
mean,
know
I
has a
don't
9 to 5 job,
care.
I'm like, I would love to know what you do. And I'm sure you've told me 12 times. I just like can't remember. And like I don't know what consulting
What's my
is.
part-time job, Melissa?
Don't ask me this. One time I said that you were a customer care representative and you got so mad at me.
Well, I was like, because I'm not.
And there you go.
She's like,
But it's something like that, isn't it? Whatever. I don't know what her job is. I don't
cares
know what
so
her
much
job
about you.
is.
Her
I just
job
care
is, like,
about you.
second.
I don't identify
I know,
you
but
that
I'm
way.
just joking with you
It
because
is
it is true. A lot of
true.
people don't know what their friends do. You don't care what your friends do.
I don't care. Like, that's
It's
not how
not
I
important.
value
For a
you.
little bit, she was working for this dentist company and she was talking about like full on dental surgeries. And I was like, is someone letting her do
It was a
dental surgery?
dental tech
She's like
startup.
on
It's a
Slack,
dental
like talking
software
about
company.
it was crazy. I was like, she can't know what that is. But
I
and she
did.
did. Yeah, it was wild. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what anyone does. Leisure Center is your Lower East Side solution for vintage clothes, shoes, books, posters, home decor, and cute downtown fashion boys. Shop for the boyfriend you have or pick one up while you shop for you. With men's, women's, unisex, and a full range of sizing, Leisure Center delivers the hottest vintage fashion for everyone. Get 10% off online with code HOSE or mention it in-store for discount. Leisure Center at 48 Hester Street in Lower Manhattan.
But it's good. I see it as something where like I want people to start identifying themselves outside of work. I want to know who you are. I want to know what you think about yourself. I am really passionate about the things that hold. Like I'm that person who hates a small talk. I'm like, tell me all your deepest, darkest struggles.
Literally.
I hate
Yes.
the small talk too.
Yes.
You
I feel like
know,
that's
I
why we
don't-
started this. We were like, we just can't talk about anything normal.
We just want to get in there. We want to get deep right away.
Tell me how you felt when you got pregnant. That sort of
Yeah.
thing. Yes. That's great. Well, I was actually a workout teacher in college.
Oh, yeah?
And I really do think it's like the most fun, cool job in the world. For me, so much pressure and crazy. And also a lot of counting to the music that I was always kind of like, whoops, sorry guys, we messed it up. You
To
know,
the right, one.
literally.
We mess
But it
up
was
all the
so
time.
fun.
Three.
We
It
mess
was
up all the
so
time.
fun. And in a similar way, I started in a, my intentions were off because I was like, if I'm working out, someone better be fucking paying me. So I got a job doing it. And I don't think that's usually the route or the right, behind it. But I found my way by the end. I was like, I'm so obsessed with this. It was such a blast. I don't do it anymore, but it was really fun. And I just think that's the coolest job.
It's
Is I guess the point of
you
me
feel
telling
like a
that.
crackhead kind of because you get all those endorphins all the time.
I
so you're
am
just like,
never exactly. I was
always on drugs.
all yes, I was cracked out with endorphins. I really was.
That's how I feel. My favorite part of everything I do are the in-person classes. And it's maybe the least lucrative, to be honest, right? But it's what I look forward to. Everything else is kind of like, okay, I'm growing, I'm getting older, I'm trying to scale, I'm trying to learn how to be a businesswoman and how to like sustain myself, right? But you don't have to worry about anyone listening. Like, it's not so much about having the right intention when you first start. It'll evolve into what it should be.
Yeah.
For some people, it becomes a passion to help. Other people simply say, I love it. And I can do this every day. And it doesn't make me want to like kill my, you know what I mean? I'm always shocked because I've never had to work a job. I was a bartender for so long. Like I've always been in the nightlife scene and I've never had to work an office job that I felt miserable in. And sometimes at home when it's like hour 4, hour 4, I'll be on my laptop. I'm like, I hate my life.
Totally.
I'm thinking about people. I'm like, is this what people feel like?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
This is exactly what they feel.
Actually, I don't know what that feels like. I'm like, I look at my computer for 10 minutes. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done with the day of work. What bars did you work at? Just out of curiosity.
I met my husband at the Dream Hotel.
We got fun. Upstairs PhD.
Cute.
Yeah. Fun.
And in the pool area. I worked at Ghetto Katra all the way down by Bowery.
Oh my God.
Fun.
Throwback.
Love.
The Standard, the Gansevoort. It was always like Soho and like the LES side, but
Fun.
that's kind of like I did that for a long time. And that's really what made me wake up because I was an actress bartending, but I had really just become a bartender that made it to maybe 1 or 2 auditions. Right?
Yeah.
And it was weird because I would never admit that. I'd be like, no, I'm an actress. I just bartend. And then I started being like, Melly, you don't go to any auditions. You have all this excuses. This is consuming your life. Now you're waking up like at 11 o'clock in the morning, right? Because you're working till 5. You're just And a lot of us do that. We have to do side jobs to sustain our dreams. And then that side job becomes like your main job or you're just not going after
and
your
the dream
craft
goes
anymore.
on the back seat.
Right.
As time passes and there really is no time limit. It's just you're putting these limits on you. Like if I could go back, I would be more resilient. But I think at that time it was like, okay, well, if I'm going to do something and I got this job teaching dance and I was teaching, subbing at Alien, subbing at BDC. I was like, all right, I can do this. I don't want to be a teacher, but I can do this because I love to dance. And slowly it evolved into something.
Yeah.
It just grew into something I would have never 10 years ago thought I would be doing everything I'm doing on my own, working for me. Especially coming from parents who like their dream job for me was like to be an accountant or to like work at a bank for
security. Yeah.
Right.
Security.
Totally.
They're like, you want health insurance. And I don't blame them. They come from nothing, from a small Caribbean island where they had nothing. So to them, they're like, why would you put yourself through so much work? You know? So it was hard to just break through all that. But now here I am, twerking for a living is kind of fun.
Twerking for a living. Yes.
And I tell you, her classes are so fun. The dances are so fun. I used to, you know what? I feel like I still have the highlight reel on my Instagram because I used to film myself in your classes. And
I remember that
see it
very well.
You see, this is one of my, when I tell you, I was really feeling myself.
You got to
Like,
post some of these for promo.
You know
for
what?
the
I
clip.
am going to we're going to bring those back. And I'm going to post them and I'm going to just remind these hoes, all these hoes out here in the streets, that I'm actually a very good dancer. And people will be like, people try to say I wasn't that great of a dancer. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not a perfect dancer.
Well, it was
but
very fun to watch.
Let me see you do it.
Try and do it.
You
it
were
was
getting
really
choreo.
fun.
My choreo ain't easy either.
Yeah.
You were coming in and you would bring your friends along too. No, you
And I would bring my friends.
Are coming.
I know. And I would be
know.
like,
I always
and then I'd be like, you guys behave. Take it serious. I remember one time I brought Marie and she was like, I was like, this is not a joke.
Do the choreo.
This is not a comedy club.
Be
you do
serious.
the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. And she's like, take your tits out, put your ass out. And she's like, I am being serious. That's so amazing.
It was so good.
Well, we have to go as soon as possible. I think you need to get ClassPass back because after you didn't, I was like, why haven't I been working out? It's because you haven't had ClassPass and been signing up for things.
Well, I don't think that's
opened
fair.
the app for the first time yesterday and I was like, maybe I'll do Pilates. And then I like laid down. It was so pathetic.
I'm getting closer. I had the thought.
You're getting
Thank
closer.
you. Thank you. The seed was
I
planted.
went on a walk, not yesterday, but the day before when it was really nice. Was that Monday?
We walked here from the train.
We did walk here, but I went on like a good walk with Mary Kate and I was like, oh my God, it's so beautiful outside.
Yeah. It helps when the weather gets
and
good.
This is the new me. I'm going to take walks.
Yeah.
now.
And you know what? I got to get I lost one of the puffs for my AirPod Maxes. Once I get that back,
It's a wrap.
it's a
It's
wrap
over for you
hoes.
fucking hoes.
Yeah, once I get that back, it's
You gonna see me walking up and
You
down the
see me.
streets, your street, her street, everywhere.
Everywhere.
street.
Every street.
Wait, I think we should do. Okay, is this crazy? I have
What?
an idea.
Okay.
I think that we should do a dance move.
What do you
Oh
want
my
to do?
God.
Yay! Whatever you want.
I don't know.
I don't know, just like something sexy that we can all three of us do for the
Okay.
camera.
I like this.
And
We're
for
gonna
our
get up.
listeners, you have to watch the YouTube if you want to see us do this. I'm like, okay, yay! Okay.
I'm gonna watch
Should we
first.
do,
Melissa, get
Okay,
out.
all right.
What's your favorite move when you go
Wait,
out?
should we move this?
My favorite move when I go out.
No, what's your favorite dance move?
My favorite dance move. I don't know.
If I'm drunk, is this?
If I'm dropping it.
I like that, 'cause
Yeah.
If I'm drunk, I'm always turning around. I'm like,
Oh, I like that. Turn around and then we can be like,
yeah. Okay.
hot.
drop
Okay.
it and accentuate. Yeah.
Okay, drop it.
So
But
we're
let's do
like
it
turn-
together.
So we're gonna turn to the right, and then.
Okay, let's do it
Love
together.
it.
I almost fell. Did you see me almost fall?
Let me have my
Yeah.
panties. Here,
I'm
you
like,
can have
I'm in
this.
heels going in this cracks. Okay.
Okay, so we're like there, we have our drink in our hand, and we're like, and the music comes on, we're like, oh my god, yes. Mm.
Wow.
And
Okay,
that is what her
fun.
classes are like.
I'm obsessed. Okay, well, where can people follow you?
Do we
Where
look
can
like
I
a
find
girl
your
group?
classes?
We do actually. I think
Maxime is like, get out of here, you absolute losers. He's like, you're fired from recording your podcast here.
That's good.
I've
We
never
have to
seen
make that a clip.
anything.
That's gonna be one of the
he
clips.
should have came with us.
Melissa. This is why you love
Melissa,
me.
you really pulled something out of me today. I don't think that generally I would have been open to that, but for a fellow
Yay, I love
Melissa,
this.
I love this. It's the
especially
shoes.
with your spelling. Thank you. Yeah. Where can everyone find you and follow you and buy this outfit?
And buy this outfit and go to the classes.
Yes, buy the outfit, go to the classes. That can be on the website, killerbodiesnyc.com. And you can follow me at the Meliza Fernandez with a Z, Meliza Fernandez. And
I love that.
for a long time, that was
I
like my
love
trauma.
that.
I would come home and be like, you ruined my life.
Because it's spelled with a Z.
Meliza.
What did I say as soon as I saw that? Should I start doing that?
You were like,
I was like, I love that.
She did.
I love that branding. That's so sweet, and I get it. Were you ever a Missy or a Mel?
Usually Mel and
Mel.
Melly is what they
Cool.
called me. And
Yeah.
recently I just changed the handle. It was like Melly Mel. And people were like, that's too unprofessional. I was like, but that's been me.
That's my
forever.
name.
I don't think it's unprofessional.
It's not. I love that. Well, thank you so much for
Yes,
being
thank you
here.
so much. This was so fun.
This is so fun.
Literally, the
And
most
you,
fun.
like I said, I knew you'd be such a good guest
Oh,
because
thank
you get deep. And I love everything that you're accomplishing. Like literally, you're one person that I love to see come up on my For You page. I love to see you win because I think what you're doing is so amazing. And I think you probably have changed a lot of lives and you're gonna continue to change a lot of
Thank you
lives.
so much. That
That's
means
really
everything.
tea. Like you have a job where you can impact people so substantially.
Deep. I mean, I haven't been to a class in a long time, but I'll never forget how they made me feel.
I love that. And I
Yeah.
think now doing this for 9 years, I always believe like in energy and like you'll have a day where you're down or like whatever, you start to question, what am I doing? Right? Like what's the point of this? And it'll be a message like that. Or you run into someone and they'll say the same thing. I haven't seen you forever, but it's just girl. Or now because I've been in the game for so long, they're like, it's so great because you've always been that person. So you're not just there for the show, you know? And it makes
No,
you feel
you're
really
not.
full and whole and just reminds you that there's more to it than just popularity or likes or trying to grow, consistently putting that pressure and more so like it should be about that. It should be about making people feel good, you feeling good and just evolving and helping others do the same.
Yes.
So thank you.
Period.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for coming.